Another day, another banger. Today we'll be watching the greatest hunter versus the greatest prey in the galaxy. This recap will feature both Alien vs Predator as well as Aliens vs Predator Requiem. Enjoy the recap. Alien vs Predator opens up in Antarctica in 1904 with a small village, looking quite dead and desolate. A man runs for dear life and hides inside a building. Within seconds, a predator uses its vision to aim its gun at him when a xenomorph appears and attacks. The scene then cuts to a satellite slowly drifting through space. This satellite, owned by none other than Wayland Corporation, sits on the low Earth orbit in 2004. At Silverleaf, Nebraska, a Wayland Industries tracking and data relay station begins receiving some unusual readings, finding an unidentified heat signature in a supposed abandoned area. Elsewhere in Nepal, environmental technician Alexa Woods is scaling a mountain when she receives a call from Maxwell Stafford, a man representing Wayland Industries, offering to fund the foundation she is associated with if she meets with him. She says she needs a week to get back but finds him already waiting for her with a chopper. In Mexico, meanwhile, the entire village rush over to an archaeological discovery. With Sebastian de Rosa looking for something, he instead finds a soda bottle cap. His boss is disgusted from his employee and tells him his team is fired. Not giving up, Sebastian tells his assistant Thomas Parks that he'll go get some more money. Out of nowhere, Maxwell appears and says he could be of service. With the Wayland helicopter flying to the Ross Ice Shelf in Antarctica, the new team alongside chemical engineer Graham Miller wants to document this field trip for his two kids. With Alexa having some small talk with Graham, they pass the point of no return or the point of safety, and the chopper heads to the icebreaker, which is traveling to a classified location. Upon landing and linking up with some of the other crew, Graham decides to mess around with a forklift when a mercenary named Mark tells him to f off. Soon enough, Maxwell calls the entire team to have a seat and introduces them all to the big boss, Charles Bishop Wayland. He explains to everyone that 7 days ago, one of his satellites over Antarctica suddenly discovered a heat bloom below the Earth. He shows them the exact image the satellite captured, and they have created a rough 3D image to find a massive structure with hundreds of rooms. With experts saying it's a pyramid, no one knows who built it or when. Sebastian quickly jumps up and says the pyramid resembles elements from the Aztecs, Cambodians, as well as the Egyptians. Thinking that Antarctica must have been a habitable continent once upon a time, Wayland mentions he doesn't know what caused the heat bloom. He also says the pyramid is 2,000 feet below the ice, and Alexa immediately says she needs at least 3 weeks to prep the team for this type of mission. Wayland tells her there are other people and corporations looking into this, and he wants them to immediately head off, causing Alexa to quit and walk away. Sometime later, Maxwell enters Alexa's room and says the money has been funded to her account and they have a new guide named Murdoch. Alexa immediately goes to Wayland and says he isn't fit for this type of mission, but he nonetheless plays the nonchalant psychopath card and both gaslights her and uses reverse psychology. But Alexa doesn't respond and heads outside to look at the beautiful sky. Her companions join her and they all have a deep and interesting conversation where the two of them ask Alexa to reconsider leaving. She is then told the helicopter is refueled and ready to go. In space, meanwhile, a very peculiar ship, something outside of this world, flies to Earth, and we get to see that a predator is on its way just as it shoots a beam of light at Earth. Back at the boat, meanwhile, it seems Alexa has decided to stay. She tells the entire crew she is laying down 3 rules: to not go anywhere alone, to maintain constant communication, and to not be a hero under any circumstance. With everyone acknowledging her request, she spots another mercenary, Adele, packing a gun for the mission and is a touch confused. With the mission officially underway and the equipment deployed, Alexa discovers Sebastian holding onto the bottle cap he found earlier and finds it amusing. Once the crew arrives at their location, they look off the cliff face and light up a flare to find the abandoned village from earlier. With the pyramids directly beneath it, Wayland Corporation start their drilling. With Maxwell, Wayland, and Graham having a look around, Graham disobeys the first order and decides to go off on his own. Sebastian and Alexa find whale bones, and Alexa mentions this villager's population disappeared overnight and no one knows how. Back with the moron who wants to venture around a demonic town on his own, I'd suspect he's filming his field trip for his kids as he doesn't want them knowing how stupid he really is. Hearing something around him, he is startled by Alexa, who tells him do not go anywhere alone. Soon enough, the team all gather around and find a tunnel-like shape heading straight to the pyramids. With it being a perfect 30-degree angle the whole way down, Wayland mentions the tunnel was not there yesterday. The team know there is no gear that powerful in the entire world, but Wayland wants them down there immediately. What the team are clueless about, though, is how a predator watches them and prepares itself for an encounter. After some time, Alexa discovers that Wayland isn't as healthy as everyone believes, but he denies everything. With Alexa not believing him, he makes sure she understands that when death is near, you begin to value life, and once again uses some of that business-minded narcissism and manipulation to let himself back on the voyage. Within minutes, the team gets to work and begin making their way down the rabbit hole. Going quite some distance, a storm approaches the base, and problematically, Waylon's line snaps and he begins falling downwards. Looking like he's about to die, Alexa thinks quick and saves him by using her tools. The Predator, in the meantime, approaches the base and flies past undetected. 3 pods are then shot from the ship, and all 3 land on the ice below, and this is where the fun begins. The team led by Alexa finally arrive at the point of entry. With the flare active, Wayland is confused as he expected another corporation to be down there, but it's empty. Once they turn on all the lights, they finally see the grand structure for the first time. Wayland is beyond happy and tells his crew it's time to make history. Walking into the pyramid, the walls depict 2 of the deadliest species in the galaxy, an alien and a predator. Continuing through the place, one of the men accidentally steps on a tile that sinks and causes a chamber below them to open up. Out comes a massive queen alien that is hauled out and electrocuted. This awakens the creature, who seems to have been trapped and frozen for quite some time. The team meanwhile discover writing from the Cambodians, Egyptians, and Aztecs. Finding a passage saying only the chosen ones may enter, they do so. Back outside, one of the men has his gun raised and can hear something nearby. The Predator on sight kills him, and his scream attracts the attention of his comrades, who also receive the same fate as him. The Predator isn't messing around, and one of the men quickly runs for his life. Spotting his men hanging dead and upside down, he puts a few bullets into the Predator, who deactivates his cloak and challenges him. Towering over him, he hits him down the rabbit hole. Falling downwards, 3 Predators reveal themselves, and let's just say everyone is Back inside the pyramid, the team come across corpses laying down on tables. Sebastian explains this is the sacrificial chamber, and whoever built this pyramid believed in sacrificing a chosen one. But what's weird is that the deceased had no bounds and died willingly. Graham examines a corpse on the wall and discovers that the skull and spine were removed in one piece. The team then hear a small scream coming from the catacombs, and Graham believes it's just air moving through the tunnels. Seeing the hundreds of skulls in other rooms, one room is surrounded with so many, but Sebastian is then jump-scared by a facehugger landing on the floor beside him. Being dead for many years, the crew have never seen anything like it before. With the chosen people having messages saying they gave up their lives for the hunt to begin, everything about these pyramids are freaky, and Adele tells Thomas something is wrong as the bones are bent outwards from the body like something killed them from the inside. The alien queen meanwhile begins its disgusting and dirty process of laying eggs. Being chained up and not able to move, it decides its best course of action is for its kitties to help it. Simultaneously, Maxwell finds a shaft to another level and knows there's another room down below. The mercenary that fell through the rabbit hole earlier awakens only to discover he has a few seconds left of his life. The team in the pyramid decide to split up, with some investigating the new rooms and some staying to catalog their findings. The first team stand directly below the first chamber and find a sarcophagus, with there being a weird combination lock beside the Aztec calendar. Sebastian reads the date to be 1904, exactly 100 years from their date, inputting their current date, which is October 10, 2004. The sarcophagus opens. Not really understanding what is going on, Sebastian cannot believe his eyes and finds 3 weapons. Wayland suddenly begins coughing and Alexa checks up on him. She then tells the group it's time to get back to base and they'll resume their search the next day. Maxwell laughs at her as he is staying right here, but Wayland tells them all to listen to Alexa but to bring the devices. As Maxwell stupidly rips them out, Sebastian tries to stop him but he doesn't listen. And this tragically puts the pyramid into a lockdown. The Predators quickly activate their cloaking devices and run in as all groups are trapped inside, realizing that the doors weigh a minimum of 2 tons and is impossible to move. Adele and Thomas are in serious trouble though, as facehugger eggs reveal themselves. Spotting movement inside the eggs, the hatches begin to open and facehuggers all come out and simultaneously jump on every human in the room. Their screams are heard by the others and Alexa wants them all to leave. Maxwell tells her it's time for him and his crew to do their jobs. With the Predator closing in on their location, a stairwell reveals itself in all the chaos and the group have no choice but to go through. Graham tells Wayland the heat bloom they detected must have been by a generator or energy source, as this structure is very complex. On the level above them, Adele startles awake and sees the facehugger next to her. With her teammates in serious trouble, her chest begins to hurt her. Within seconds, an alien begins popping out and she brutally dies. The Predators in the meantime decide to split up. Maxwell and his group then see a massive statue for the Predator and see the weapon they discovered on its shoulders. With the humans of the time worshipping the Predators, the group has been found by one who sees them carrying its weapon. One of the mercenaries are grabbed from behind, causing the crew to get into alert mode. The Predator then appears and kills another mercenary. The group retaliate in response, but the ground and walls around them begin moving. The Predator leaps away and the group has no choice but to try and escape. A mercenary is tragically trapped beneath the floor as Graham is trapped with another. The rest of the team are also stuck but at least have each other. The lone survivor begins shouting for some help and falls into a lower level. Hearing something around, he gets his gun ready but is quickly caught off guard. Back with Graham and the other mercenary, they don't have much hope but know they need to move. Wayland meanwhile discovers that the weapon his dead man was carrying is still in good condition, but Maxwell isn't too happy that Wayland isn't mentioning their dead soldier. Sebastian says the Aztec calendar was based on multiples of 10 and believes the place will move around every 10 minutes and is correct. Walls and doors begin opening and closing, including that on Graham's side. Believing them to be rats in a maze, Graham as well as the mercenary take off with Maxwell also leading his team to safety. With Graham and his companion, the two get somewhat separated, with the mercenary finding his dead comrade's gun covered in slime. Hearing something and rushing back, a trap door opens, and he hurts himself and falls to another level, and Graham promises to help him out. The soldier then craps his pants when he realizes he is not alone. Aiming his gun and swearing at the aliens beside him, he is tragically killed, and Graham hears the ordeal. He then sees an alien in the distance who charges at him and makes him disappear in seconds. While all this happens, Maxwell leads the other troops around as Wayland drops the Predator's weapon from his illness. Picking it back up, he places the device in Alexa's bag with two Predators watching. With one going cloak, the other fires a net to trap Maxwell. Locking him, the others attempt to cut him free, but the Predator approaches them and launches them all away before putting a spear through Maxwell. The second Predator then reveals itself by kicking Alexa, and let me tell you, they're all But to Alexa's astonishment, an alien comes from behind and stabs the Predator. Lifting him off the ground, the xenomorph goes face to face with its adversary and kills it. The other Predator sees what just happened and has a brutal combat with one of the deadliest creatures of the galaxy. While the two are distracted, the team escape and the alien is kicked away. Going for round 2, both specimens do not disappoint, and the Predator, the greatest hunter, manages to injure the greatest prey there is by smacking it on all surrounding walls, then tossing it away. It shoots toxic acid at him, however, and he is forced to remove his armor. Looking for the creature, it seems to have disappeared. With the Predator slowly looking around, the xenomorph is above him, and launches only to be trapped in the net that shrinks in to badly wound its prey. The Predator takes out a weapon to end the beast, but it manages to escape and kill its adversary before screaming for all to hear its accomplishment. The 3 remaining survivors take a break when Wayland begins to panic. With a Predator near, it comes into view and Wayland orders Sebastian to save Alexa. Grabbing her and leaving, Wayland tries stalling the Predator, but it grabs him and scans his body to reveal he is very sick. The Predator lets him be, but Wayland creates a fire and fires at the Predator, who refuses to show him mercy after that stupid move. Sebastian tries calming Alexa down and they both continue to the exit when their conversation is heard by the alien who just wants its stupid weapon. Once 10 minutes hits again, the walls and temple begin changing and the duo just manage to escape their pursuer by milliseconds. The last remaining Predator is then pounced on by a facehugger, which is cut in half. A xenomorph also approaches from behind, but its head is separated from its body. With the Predator removing its helmet, the 2 humans have a peephole where they see the Predator using the dead facehugger's acid to mark itself. Sebastian says that's what ancient warriors would do for rite of passage. Just as the 2 turn around, a facehugger leaps to capture the Predator. Sebastian quickly realizes that the entire place is a manhood ritual, a way for young Predators to prove they are worthy of being adults. Making sense, as it had no guns to begin with, they have to earn them. Reading the story on the walls, it says that thousands of years ago, the hunters found Earth. They taught humans how to build and were worshipped in return. Every 100 years, the Predators would return and expect a sacrifice for their arrival. Humans were used to breed the ultimate prey, and the hunters would battle with their greatest adversaries and prove themselves worthy to carry the mark. But if the hunters lost, they made sure that nothing survived, and an entire civilization was wiped out over one day. It seems the heat bloom was assigned to lure the humans down to be trapped and breed the alien creatures. And just like they explained, Graham awakens to find some of his comrades alive but trapped to facehuggers. With him about to share a similar fate, he sees a gun stuck on the wall and grabs it just in time to kill the facehugger and save himself. Just kidding though, he didn't save himself and is completely f***ed when he runs out of bullets. Sebastian and Alexa are also f***ed when they discover that if one door opens, they are dead. Alexa says when that door opens, she plans to use the Predator's gun. Sebastian's watch then beeps for another shift in the temple. A door opens and Alexa says let's go find their friend. With the Predator still alive and quite near, the duo hear movement around and see the alien beside them. They go sprinting and quickly get to a broken bridge to which they both jump over. But Alexa doesn't clear it and almost falls over the edge until Sebastian grabs her. But the alien suddenly appears and drags Sebastian away. Alexa slowly gets up, and now she must consider herself to be the lone survivor of this expedition. Bravely continuing through the place, she is discovered by the Predator, who just watches her. When she sees him, it pulls out its spear and she tells it to wait. Slowly taking off her backpack with its weapon, she tosses it over to him just as an alien xenomorph appears and attacks him. Going to attack Alexa, she grabs the spear from the ground and stabs the creature. It tries fighting back, but it eventually succumbs to its wound and dies. The Predator, finally attaching his gun to himself, spots multiple aliens around and kills them one by one. The Queen then calls her babies back to her and they retreat. With the Predator retrieving its spear and walking away, Alexa says it's joining him, but he doesn't look too happy about that idea. But upon noticing that she killed an alien, he removes its head from its body and begins using its corpse to make a spear as well as a shield that doesn't burn from the acid. He hands them over to Alexa, who joins him in this upcoming battle. The Queen meanwhile screams at its children to free her from her captivity, and they shoot their acid to help. With the duo searching the place for their prey, Alexa comes across the facehugger room. Seeing that Graham was killed from the inside out, she picks up his pistol and starts hearing noises around. Discovering Sebastian latched onto the wall, already impregnated by the facehugger, the Predator goes to kill him, but Alexa stops him. With Sebastian saying to kill him, Alexa aims the gun at him and shoots him dead. The Predator is quite impressed and kills off the baby alien, and downstairs, the Queen officially releases herself from her captivity and starts running to kill the duo. Noticing that all the facehugger eggs are about to open and that they're in deep trouble, the Predator activates his bomb and tells Alexa his plan. Throwing it onto the eggs, the two take off running for the exit and quickly make it to the exit shaft. The Predator is then jumped on by an alien, and thanks to Alexa's quick thinking, she kills it. However, there are many more aliens after her, and she alongside the Predator quickly escape on the shaft as the bomb detonates and causes the entire base to explode. Being seconds away from the duo, they just barely make it out of explosive range but keep on running. The ground beneath begins to sink in, and as they try to put distance away from the danger zone, they both manage to do so at the last second. Staring at the massive hole they just made, the Predator takes off its mask and screams at Alexa. It grabs one of the alien's body part and wants to mark her, and she agrees. Putting a touch of acid on her face and marking her, the two are shocked when the Queen arises from the ground. Shooting two blades at it, the Predator slices up the bitch until he is pushed away. With the Queen about to kill its hunter, Alexa steps in to save him. The creature, now angry, roars and runs to kill Alexa, who smartly hides. Giving her an extra few seconds to think of an escape strategy, the Predator stabs the creature through its eyes. The duo then grab one of the chains and tie it to the falling building, but the Predator is stabbed through the chest. Alexa doesn't give up and yanks the building over the edge, causing the Predator to be released and the alien Queen to fall off the edge into ice-cold water and into its death. Alexa quickly rushes over to the Predator, who says its final words, then dies. With Alexa by its side, a massive ship cloaks itself alongside hundreds of Predators. When they see she is marked, she realizes they too are marked. Carrying their fallen youngling on the ship, Big Daddy as I like to call him, hands Alexa one of his weapons to commend her skill before getting into his ship and flying away. Alexa makes her move to return home, and the Predators also do the same but miss one thing: that their fallen youngling was impregnated by the Queen and they have a xenomorph on board. Aliens vs. Predator Requiem starts off with the same Predator ship leaving Earth and a predallion popping out of the youngling's chest. With the ship flying past Saturn, a smaller ship disconnects from the main one. Inside, multiple Predators have quite a lot of facehuggers trapped, but they are unaware to their extra passenger, who begins killing them off. One of the Predators begins firing, but the spacecraft crashes back onto Earth in a forest outside Gunnison, Colorado. Two hunters, including Sam as well as his father Buddy, go to investigate the crash and cannot believe their eyes. With the facehuggers escaping captivity and escaping the ship, the Predator activates a distress call when it is killed. The two hunters attempt to flee and stop when they hear something around them lurking in the bushes. Buddy manages to kill a facehugger but loses an arm from the acid, then gets jumped on by another. When Sam has a look, he too loses his life and is caught off guard. Back on the Predator's home world, a distress call is sounded. One of the highly elite Predators sees the problem and is ready for war. Grabbing his helmet and weapon, he immediately takes off for Earth. On Earth, meanwhile, the county sheriff Morales picks up an ex-convict named Dallas. Being fresh out of prison, the sheriff offers him a ride and wants to give him a lecture about life. Asking him if he regrets what he done, a stone-cold Dallas tells him no. The scene then cuts to Dallas's younger brother Ricky working as a pizza deliverer. Going to his first delivery for the day, he knocks on a house to see the girl he likes, Jessie. Her current partner, a bully named Dale, doesn't like Ricky's demeanor. In the kitchen, Jessie tells Ricky she's getting ready to fire Dale, hinting she may be open to candidates quite soon. Once Ricky leaves, Dale decides to put a few blows into Ricky, who lays on the ground. Chucking his car keys down the drain, Jessie watches in disbelief but leaves Ricky alone. Back at the forest, a local officer, Deputy Ray, finds a homeless man named Harry hanging out in the sewer system. Saying he is going to take him in, Harry's dog finds Buddy's torn-off arm and the deputy calls it in. Within minutes, Morales arrives on the scene and finds Buddy's truck. With the forest being so big, Sam lies unconscious on the ground but awakens alongside his father. Soon enough though, Buddy is killed from the inside out and Sam also suffers the same fate. Back in town, a Marine named Kelly returns from deployment to be reunited with her husband Tim as well as her daughter Molly. Ricky in the meantime returns home to find Dallas there. Not wanting to talk as he wants some revenge for what Dale done to him, Dallas takes the bat off his brother and offers to help find the keys. Once night hits, the homeless man Harry drinks with his friend. But what they don't know is that a facehugger lurks around and pounces on Harry's friend while another rushes in and latches onto Harry. Another homeless woman soon arrives to discover the horrific scene, but problematically an alien emerges from the water. Approaching the woman, she screams for life but is brutally killed. In space, the Predator launches a small shuttle that lands in the forest. With the Predator revealing itself, it scans the area looking for the crashed ship. Finding something, he runs into the forest and begins investigating the crashed spacecraft. Having a look at his comrades' corpses, he removes one of their helmets as well as his own. Placing the other helmet over his head, he gets to see a recording of what took place on the ship, and he is not happy with what he just saw. Taking all the weapons and important items from the spacecraft, he makes sure to not leave any trace of the ship and blows it up. At home, Molly refuses to go to sleep when Kelly tells her to. Kelly tries reading her a bedtime story, but Molly insists that she wants her father to read it instead. Feeling a bit disheartened, Kelly kisses her daughter goodnight and heads back to her room. Tim, noticing Molly's reluctance, gently reminds her that it's okay to admit she missed her mother. Afterward, Kelly thanks Tim for doing such a great job with Molly during her absence. Meanwhile, outside Jess's house, Dallas follows Ricky down into the sewer to search for his lost keys. They make their way to the drain, hoping to find them there. As Ricky looks around, he suddenly spots an alien, but he's not sure what he saw and tries to brush it off. He continues searching and luckily manages to find his keys. In the forest, Buddy's wife Darcy arrives with 2 men to look for her husband and son. They begin their search, unaware of the danger lurking nearby. After a while, the police intervene and decide to halt the search. Morales suggests that Darcy go home and rest as it's getting late. Unbeknownst to them, the Predator has already discovered Buddy and Sam's bodies. He uses acid to destroy their remains, along with some of the dead facehuggers. While doing this, the Predator hears Ray's radio crackle and activates his cloaking device. Chasing Deputy Ray, he ultimately catches up to him and kills him. The next day, Darcy continues searching for Buddy and Sam. Their disappearance is now all over the news, leaving the residents of Gunnison in fear. Dallas meets Morales at a diner and asks about Buddy and Sam. The sheriff explains that they called off the search at 2 a.m. Overhearing their conversation, the waitress Carrie becomes worried about her husband Ray. This prompts Morales to return to the forest with another officer to look for Ray. Sadly, they discover Ray's flayed body hanging from a tree branch and take it back for examination. Dr. Lennon, puzzled by what happened to Ray, tells Morales he's in over his head when the sheriff notes there were no tracks in the forest. Despite this, Morales is determined to solve Ray's case. Back in the forest, the Predator tracks the aliens to the sewer system and destroys the bodies of their victims. Spotting the aliens, he tries to eliminate them all, but some manage to escape. Enraged, the Predator follows them to the surface and turns invisible again. The next day, Jessie invites Ricky to go swimming with her, mentioning she has broken up with Dale. Once night hits, Carrie prepares to leave work and hears a noise from the kitchen. She goes to inspect to see her boss being devoured by an alien. Before she can react, she is cornered but left alive for the Predallion. In a local bar, Morales informs Dallas that they found Ray's skinned body in the woods. Dallas wonders if Ray's death might be connected to Buddy and Sam's disappearance, but Morales isn't sure what to make of it. Just then, Morales gets a call from a dispatcher about a small gas explosion in the sewer under 16th Street. Dallas decides to tag along with him to investigate. Meanwhile, the Predator tracks an alien to a nuclear power plant and tries to shoot it. Alarms go off throughout the plant, but that doesn't stop the alien from attacking and killing an innocent worker. As the Predator continues his search for the alien, he stumbles upon the worker's body. Another worker, discovering his colleague's corpse, runs away in terror. At the school, Jessie meets up with Ricky by the pool and tries to charm him. Suddenly, Dale and his friends show up and interrupt them. This time, Ricky is not backing down. He confronts Dale and his buddies, pushing them into the pool. Back at the power plant, the Predator is ambushed and gets impaled on a metal bar by the alien. Despite this, the Predator gets back up and fights fiercely, repeatedly firing at the alien. Unfortunately, this causes a power blackout. At the school pool, the lights go out and the fight between the boys suddenly stops. The situation worsens when they see something moving in the water. Terrified, the boys scramble to get out of the pool, but one of them is caught and eaten by an alien. As they try to escape through a window, another of Dale's friends is killed. This leaves Ricky, Jessie, and Dale with no choice but to keep running. At the same time, Morales receives another call about the explosion at the power plant. At home, Molly sees an alien outside their house and immediately cries for help. Tim and Kelly rush to her room but don't believe her and try to calm her down. However, as Tim stands by the window, the alien attacks. Kelly quickly grabs Molly and flees the house. Meanwhile, the Predator finishes off the alien that killed Dale's friends and uses acid to dispose of all the bodies. Back at the power plant, Morales realizes the severity of the situation and orders the evacuation of the entire town, requesting assistance from the National Guard. Shortly after, Ricky arrives with Jessie and Dale, frantically explaining that something was after them. After hearing Ricky's account, Dallas and Morales head to the school to investigate. They find the pool empty, but Morales spots a trail of blood on the floor and follows it to come across the gruesome scene left by the alien in the locker room. Morales quickly calls for backup. However, when no one responds to their call, they decide to leave immediately, understanding the severity of the situation. In the diner, Darcy searches for Carrie and finds her in the kitchen, witnessing a horrifying scene. Small aliens are pushing their way out of Carrie's stomach. Shocked and terrified, Darcy has no choice but to run away. Meanwhile, the Predator is still on the hunt, tracking down the aliens. After treating his wound, the Predator lets out a painful screech, which catches the attention of Kelly, Molly, and an armed man in a nearby cemetery. Molly is in disbelief over leaving her father behind, but before Kelly can respond, the man with the gun catches the Predator's attention, who then kills him with a precise shot to the head. Kelly seizes the moment to escape with Molly, and the Predator, uninterested in them, lets them go. Meanwhile, on the road, Morales nearly runs over Darcy and immediately stops to see what's wrong. She tearfully tells him what happened to Carrie. After Darcy gets into the car with Ricky, Jesse, and Dale, Dallas suggests they need to arm themselves. Despite his initial hesitation, Morales agrees, and the group heads to a sporting goods store to find firearms and any other weapons they can use. At the same time, the National Guard arrives and sets up a perimeter around the town. Morales manages to get in contact with Lieutenant Wood, who informs him they are stationed on Main Street. However, their conversation is abruptly cut off when the soldiers are attacked and overwhelmed by the aliens, who prove to be too much for them to handle. Back at the sporting goods store, two strangers appear, startling Morales' group, and nearly get shot in the confusion. Soon after, Kelly and Molly arrive and Dallas assures them they will be safe there. Meanwhile, in the hospital, the Predallion brutally kills a nurse and attacks a pregnant woman, leaving the other patients in sheer terror. Back at the store, the invisible predator suddenly captures Dallas and hangs him upside down from the ceiling. Dallas quickly asks Kelly for the gun and uses it to shoot himself free. Just as he lands, an alien appears, ready to attack him when the predator steps in and swiftly decapitates the alien. The two strangers attempt to shoot at the predator, but he quickly retaliates. The predator also manages to kill an alien that is about to attack Dale, but the acid still kills him. Meanwhile, back at the hospital, small aliens burst out of a pregnant woman's stomach, and the Predallion kills a doctor. As the group continues to flee, the predator relentlessly hunts down and eliminates more aliens. Morales and the others eventually reach Main Street, where they realize they are completely on their own. They gather all the weapons they can find to defend themselves, and Morales attempts to contact the National Guard again and successfully reaches Colonel Stevens. The colonel informs him that all ground routes have been compromised, but mentions there will be an airlift in 30 minutes from Gilliam's Circle. After the call, Stevens looks at one of the monitors, clearly puzzled about what they are dealing with. Acting quickly, Kelly drives one of the military vehicles, taking the group with her. At the same time, the Predator modifies the plasma blaster on his shoulder into a handheld weapon. He then surveys the area and realizes that the aliens have completely overrun the hospital. Before they reach their destination, Kelly stops the vehicle and points out that Gilliam's Circle is in the center of town, which would put them right in the middle of all the aliens. She suggests that the Army's real priority is containment, not rescue, implying that Stevens may have been lying about the airlift. Morales finds this idea absurd, but Kelly argues that their best option is to get out of town entirely. They consider using the helicopter at the hospital to escape. Moments later, a truck carrying a group of people heading to Gilliam's Circle pulls up, and Morales instructs the driver to follow them. However, Dallas decides to take the tank and head to the hospital instead, with one of the men from the truck joining him. Morales and Darcy choose to go with the group heading to Gilliam's Circle, and they soon part ways. On their way to the hospital, Dallas advises everyone to wear protective vests and carry guns. Unaware that the Predator is already there, they head up to the rooftop. Meanwhile, the Predator discovers the bodies of several dead pregnant women and realizes that the Predallion has used them to breed more aliens. As Dallas's group reaches the rooftop, an alien suddenly attacks, killing the man from the truck. They open fire on the creature and Jesse runs away. At the same time, the Predator confronts the Predallion and fights off other aliens. In the ensuing battle, the Predator throws large blades, killing 2 more aliens but accidentally impaling Jesse as she runs. Ricky watches in horror as Jess's body is sliced in half, and in a rage he runs towards the Predator, firing repeatedly. An alien then charges at the Predator, and the 2 creatures tumble down an elevator shaft. Ricky then grabs the Predator's blaster, but the Predallion stabs him with its tail. Dallas shoots at the Predallion, driving it away, and then rushes to help his brother. Hearing the Predators roar nearby, they realize they need to escape immediately and flee with the blaster in hand. Upon reaching the rooftop, Dallas and the others are confronted by more aliens. Acting quickly, Kelly fires at the aliens to defend the group, while Dallas tries using the Predator's blaster to destroy the fence blocking their escape. Meanwhile, at Gilliam's Circle, Morales and those who are armed fight off the aliens. In the midst of the chaos, Morales calls Stevens to check on the evacuation status, only to learn that the colonel plans to eliminate everyone with a nuclear warhead. Back on the rooftop, Dallas offers to buy time for his group. He uses the blaster to take down more aliens, but the weapon soon runs out of charge. As the others finally reach the helicopter, Kelly quickly gets it ready for takeoff. Once the blaster recharges, Dallas uses it to blow an alien's head off. Not long after, the Predator arrives and starts eliminating more aliens. As Dallas makes his escape, the Predator and the Predallion come face to face. Moments later, Dallas joins his group in the helicopter and they take off. On the rooftop, the Predator and the Predallion continue their fierce battle. The enraged Predator removes his mask and charges at the Predallion. Eventually, the Predator manages to rip out the Predallion's tongue and stab it, but the hybrid creature retaliates by stabbing him with its tail. At the same time, the nuclear warhead hits Gilliam's Circle, obliterating everyone there, including Morales, Darcy, and the remaining aliens. The force of the explosion makes it difficult for Kelly to control the helicopter, and soon they crash in a clearing. Several soldiers quickly arrive, forcing Dallas and Kelly to surrender their weapons. The soldiers set up a perimeter and provide medical assistance to Ricky, while Kelly reassures Molly that the monsters are gone. Later, Stevens presents the Predator's blaster to Ms. Yutani. She remarks that the world isn't ready for such advanced technology, but Stevens knowingly replies that the weapon isn't meant for their world. Thanks for sticking until the end. Make sure to watch some of my other timeline recaps if you haven't already, and as always, stay awesome and take care.